Right on time. I've got all right. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Let me put my gallery so that I can get that out of the way. Well, I guess that's okay. Let me congratulate you first of all for joining our webinar today. I don't have my camera on. Hold on. There it is. Welcome, 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 welcome. I see some folks on. Hello, Miss Nadine. Thank you for being here. Um, those of you who are with us here today, in the chat, I put my email address and I also put my phone number. I see Nick Lopez. Glad to see you. Those of you who are joining, um, my name is Stephen Taylor, and I'll be doing the LinkedIn three-way calling training today. In the chat, I have my email address and my phone number because I will be sharing some scripts and things that if you want to um, get get a copy of those, then you can email me after it starts. Well, let me get it back to where I need to go. If you'll excuse me today, I have um, some throat issues, so I'm just as excited as I always am, but um, my level of inflections will probably not be as normal. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. I want to start this off as I do every week by saying, um, giving a disclaimer. First of all, this is not a life insurance training. This is a life insurance business training because you see, there is a major skill set difference between a life insurance producer and a life insurance agency builder. And please pardon me if I have to clear my throat and stop for a moment, but we're going to get through it. I'm grateful to have you here. But you see, there are a lot of people who are major producers who produce a lot of business, and there's nothing wrong with that. We welcome you here for that. But if you want to see success on this platform, then we want to see you build an agency. And there's a different skill set, a major skill set difference between a life insurance producer and a life insurance agency builder. You see, the primary skill set to building a life insurance agent's business. As a life insurance agent, if you want to build a life insurance business, not just have a sales profession, then you must have the art of recruiting learned. You must learn the art of recruiting. Let's talk about the power of recruiting. First of all, The primary skill set, or the prerequisite that you must have for recruiting is belief. Because you see, to the degree that you believe in the OIC opportunity will be the degree of your success in recruiting. That probably would be a good note to write right there. To the degree that you believe in the OIC opportunity will be the degree of your success in recruiting. Now, what are some of the reasons why we don't recruit? Maybe we just don't believe in the power of the opportunity. Maybe we're just isolating the value of the opportunity to our own experience. If we're doing that, maybe we came on to sell, and we you may have had good success so far selling, and so if that's what you're doing, you don't have the skill set or the mindset of a business owner. You're a sales agent, and let me qualify, like I said before, if that's what you want to be, then we're going to support you in that. But I believe that those of you who are here with us, and those of you who will be watching it from the live stream, the recording later, because maybe you're working another job during the day, and you're not able to watch, let me say there's nothing wrong with being a sales agent. But we, here on the Supreme Team of OIC, we are wanting to build businesses. We want to build business owners. And so we hope we can shift your mindset from a sales agent to a business owner with this recruiting. Maybe it's just a lack of understanding and appreciation for systems. You see, I'm a very system-driven gentleman. I've been doing this for 50 years. I'm the oldest person on the OIC platform, I believe. I'm 73 years old. But I believe in systems. Maybe you just don't have a real understanding of what the OIC platform offers, or maybe you're just unclear of what's next. So here's the question. If you aren't recruiting, why aren't you recruiting? Because think about this opportunity that we've been given from the founders, Brad Pham, and Mary Grace Anasco, and Anthony Rubio, and Rain Rubio, those people who started this company almost 8 years ago. We have the opportunity to give people access to the American dream. Is that in your message? We have the opportunity to make dreams come true, an opportunity to create a financial legacy. We have the opportunity to establish the respect of family, friends, and community. We have the opportunity to restore the lost dreams of the American people. Is that the nature of your message? Or are you just portraying sales to the people who know you? I want to think just for a few minutes about the power of one. And this came from, I don't know what's going on there. This came from a training that our leader, an executive business director and equity partner, Mr. Suni Samad, taught a few months back on the power of one. He said this, one agent can change your business forever. So I want to give you a little timeline. In 2024, using LinkedIn the way we're teaching it here. And by the way, this system was perfected and taught by Mr. Suni Samad long before he had a team, long before he had the largest team in OIC, long before he even had one team member. He was teaching and doing this. Using LinkedIn, what we're going to teach you today. Mr. Samad recruited a young lady from Oakland, California by the name of Verena McCoy. She leveraged that same system and recruited Brian Swisher, who is now a business director, equity partner, watch earner. Brian Swisher, after serving a year in the Education Retirement Group and following that system in the schools, he earned the credibility and the respect of the founders. And he now is the founder and the leader of the Small Business Retirement Group. And ladies and gentlemen, that was one person out of the recruiting that Miss Elena McCoy did. She recruited Brian Swisher, and he has become one of the major players. And the Small Business Retirement Group is putting up numbers and creating accounts all over the country. But let's go back a year before that. Using LinkedIn, Mr. Samad recruited a gentleman by the name of Caesar Paz. He taught him that system. And so using three-way calling, Caesar Paz introduced Mr. Samad to a lady by the name of Joanne Ryan. She in turn introduced Bill Fegans, who in turn introduced a lady by the name of Natalie Hunt. And Miss Natalie Hunt reached out to a former business partner of hers in the final expense space by the name of Hans Augustin in New Jersey. Hans Augustin is my business director, my business partner, my mentor, my friend, my brother. And ladies and gentlemen, he is doing amazing things. And we on the West Coast following his lead, and we're able to, East Coast, we're able to start from where we are on the East Coast, and we're leveraging Mr. Hans Augustin's knowledge and abilities, and he's helping us to expand OIC all across the country. He'll soon be the next equity partner. He intends to walk across the platform as an equity partner in the convention this year. And think about in 2024, using three-way calling. Mr. Samad introduced a man by the name of Mikhail Mecki to some leaders, including Gabriel Gonzalez. Mr. Mecki saw the vision and saw the mission, the vision, and the purpose. He reached out to a young lady named Princess Map out in, she likes to say LA by way of the Bay. She reached out to someone she had worked with in another company by the name of Kim Howard. Before Princess Map, who is a business director now, before she became a business director, Miss Kim Howard became a business director. Miss Kim Howard began to grow a team. That helped Princess Map become business director. And at the end of last year, Miss Kim Howard became our newest equity partner, our newest $50,000 ring earner. Miss Kim Howard, this coming weekend in Vallejo, California, is hosting and putting on a major event, a financial festival in Vallejo, California. And there have been so far over 70 registered. She has a capacity of 100, but they're going to make room for everybody. Let me just ask you, who will be your one? This is a two-part training. The first part is recruiting with LinkedIn. The second part is the three-way calling system. So, part one, recruiting with LinkedIn. Why do we use the LinkedIn system to recruit? Well, because of that acrostic at the top of your screen, SYSTEMS, systems. We've heard the word system broken down as saving yourself time, energy, and money. But because this was taught to me by a leader in another organization that was non-insurance related, and he added the word, it also will save you stress. And so I teach it as plural. With systems, you save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. And here are some reasons. And you might want to take a screenshot if you're able to do that. Systems duplicate for massive scalability. Now, I probably ought to add a word to that. Proven systems can duplicate for massive scalability. If you don't have a system, you don't have a business. If you've come on and you're selling a lot of IULs and you're selling a lot of annuities and you're writing a lot of life insurance, you have a good sales career. But ladies and gentlemen, one of those kind of models is a little difficult the older you get to maintain as just a sales agent, doing it all on your own pen. But you see, systems can help you go from having all the work to do yourself to being able to leverage that system and teach it to someone else so that they leverage it and it goes on down the line. You see, a proper system will favor the success of the newest person. A system that doesn't favor the success of the new person is not effective. You see, you can use an illustration of a tree. A tree doesn't grow from the top down. A tree grows from the bottom up because those roots get planted in the ground and go down deep. And once they're down deep enough, then that tree becomes visible and flourishes. If your business isn't growing from the bottom up, your business is dying. Here's something very, very key to write down. You make up in numbers what you lack in skill. Because you see, systems create more outcome for less time. Now, if you've been on the platform for a while, you know that I joined OIC, the Supreme Team, in June of last year. I was in the last year of my decade career for the last 10 years as a prearrangement planning person for Service Corporation International, based out of Houston, the largest funeral cemetery provider in the United States. And therefore, I was leveraging my life insurance license, but I was captive. And so, therefore, I could not write tons of business because it would flag and cause me issues. And I've always heard it said, it's more important how you leave somewhere than how you started. And so I wanted to be ethical. And so if you look in the levels of our system, I started in June at the same level that everyone else has started as a training associate, because I had to spend my last 6 months of my career working on the recruiting side and not on the writing side. And so as of December the 31st, I was entirely retired. January the 1st rolled around, and I have been going strong. And I have just kind of started back from the beginning and taken everything that I learned to start putting into practice. So you might have a question, well, Stephen, why are you as a training associate training on this system? Because it works. It's the reason I'm here at my desk in a little town in East Tennessee called Church Hill, Tennessee. And it's the reason why I've been able to bring 10 associates on, and I'm having calls every day with people who are starting the process. I'm having a three-way call with my business director when this one finishes to bring on a young lady out of Atlanta, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the system that brought me here. Someone by the name of James C. Clark, a gentleman in New Jersey that I never have heard of, had no idea. I looked at his profile. I saw that he was a minister, just like me. He was a wedding officiant, just like me. I've managed a wedding chapel for over 6 years in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, one of the major destinations down through the years for people to get married. So we had a lot of things in common. It tweaked my interest, and it's the reason that I'm here today. So, lest you think that I may be a rookie, I am still in the rookie phase with OIC and with some of the things that I've learned about this business. But I have been in the business since the days of carrying a debit book, a great old big book, and going by and collecting weekly premiums. And I've been through a lot of systems, and many of them made no sense. But I want to think about systems for a minute. Why do they work? Because with a proven system, you can remove yourself from the day to day of the business, but the system still keeps the business running smoothly. Without a system, you have no business. Now, I can look out the window if the blinds were turned this way and look over the top of the trees and see the golden arches. I would venture to say that those of you who are watching on the live part of this training today and those who will see it on Facebook later, you're not far from one either. You'd be hard pressed to go anywhere in the United States of America, and for that matter, even in the world where you don't see McDonald's. But did you know that there is a place in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois called Hamburger University? McDonald's franchise owners, if I bought a franchise, if I wanted to buy a franchise and I had the money, they won't just take my money and say, you can go. I would have to spend a year to 18 months of my life at Hamburger University. Why? To learn the McDonald's system in order to duplicate it. You can go anywhere in the world and McDonald's is going to look basically the same. This is an Oriental location. I don't know where it is. I can't read Korean, Japanese, Chinese. I don't know what that is. Some of you may be more uh, uh, language fluent than me, but I know that's a McDonald's, and I know that I could walk right in there and point. If I couldn't say the language, I could point to the menu and tell them what I want, because I know that straight back through there is where they where they put all the hamburgers together on that right side, and on that left side is where the French fry uh, uh, place is, that they scoop those out, put them in a red box. I know that system, and that's why McDonald's is going to operate the same way. If I went to if I went to Hamburger University, spent a year and a half of my life, and then decided I was going to come back to the state of Tennessee and change it up, and instead of putting the Big Macs in a box and the French fries in a box, I was going to put the French fries in a cup and just wrap the hamburger in foil. I wouldn't be a McDonald's. I'd be like in that movie Coming to America with Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy. I would be a McDowell's. I'd just be selling hamburgers, or it wouldn't be McDonald's. It'd be McTaylor's or something, because that's not the system. So why do we leverage LinkedIn to recruit? It's something called the Infinite Eight. If you notice that, that's just an eight laying down horizontally instead of vertically. An Infinite Eight is based on sending out 8 invitations on LinkedIn each day, every day. Now, Infinite Eight is based on 3 laws. The first law is the law of large numbers. Now, the law of large numbers is one of the fundamental principles in probability and statistics. It states that as the number of trials or observations increases, the average of the results will get closer to the expected value. Now, if I could pull a quarter out of my pocket, I don't. Most of my change ends up in in the console. I emptied it all out one day not long ago, and there was $125 worth of change in there. But if I had a quarter and I had the stamina at 73 years old, and I had the strength in these arthritic fingers and thumb of mine to flip that quarter enough times and call it heads, eventually doing it enough times, the number of times it lands on heads will eventually get to 50% if I do it enough times. That's the law of large numbers. The second law is the law of averages. Excuse me, pardon me. Now, the law of average is not a formal mathematical law, but it reflects the belief. You remember what I said in the very beginning? Belief. You gotta believe. I did after I saw it demonstrated to me, after I realized that what James Clark in New Jersey was doing was just putting into practice a system that he was taught, and they taught it to me. That's the first thing I did was believed. And so it reflects the belief that outcomes will just even out over time. Now, for example, if I was sitting down at a table and Nick Lopez was with me and some other people were with me and we were playing a card game, which I usually don't do because I would be the loser most of the time. I know nothing about poker and all. I just I don't know it. I don't know it. But let's say we're playing Uno. I know how to play that game. I'm dating myself now. I know that game was back in the day. But maybe we've played several hands and I lose. And I lose the second hand. And lose the third hand. And I'm about to throw up my hands. And I'm look, guys, I can't play this. Well, Nick just says to me, "Oh, come on, Steve. Just let's play. Keep playing. You're due for a win." That's the law of averages. But then the third law is the law of compounding. And those of us in the financial space, we know that that is a financial principle, and it describes how earnings will generate additional earnings over time. Compounding creates exponential growth because we earn returns not only for the original amount, but we also can earn on the accumulated gains. We leave that in. We don't get antsy and pull it out when we earn some money. We leave it in, leave the initial investment in, and let it continue to compound, and we're going to earn exponentially. And so all three of these laws are applicable on LinkedIn. Now let's do some math here. Some of you may be new on the call. And I intentionally like this picture right here because one thing that nobody will ever be able to accuse Steve Taylor of, and you can accuse Steve Taylor of a lot of things, and some of them probably are true, but nobody can accuse Stephen Taylor of being a math major. I absolutely hated math in school. I've never used algebra since the day I graduated. I've never used trigonometry since the day I graduated, and I don't know that I'll ever use it. So you can't call me a math major, but if I have one of these in my hand with a calculator, I can figure it out. You may already have it figured out in your head beforehand, and congratulations to you. But I'm like this one right here. I would think like, what does that mean? Well, let's just do some simple math. This was me when I came on. This is you if you're a brand new associate, and this may be your first training. You're going in on LinkedIn and three-way calling. I believe that system of 8 invitations each day, every day, I believe that was a system that I could do and be successful with. So I send out 8 invitations on LinkedIn every day for 7 days. In a week, that's 56 invitations. In a year, that's 52. I'm sorry. In 52 weeks in a year, that's $2,912. Now, I could put my fingers right here and rear back and say, man, I did pretty good. But when it's me and my 3 associates that I've recruited, Now there's four of us doing it. The law of large numbers starts to kick in. Now there's 32 invitations going out every week, 224 every day, 32 every. I told you I couldn't do numbers. 32 every day times 7 days, 224 in a week times 52 weeks in a year. My single effort of 2,912, because I'm following the law of large numbers, they've created 11,648 invitations to connect. But how about when it's me and I have another associate? Now there's five of us. So that's 40 a day times 7 days. That's 280 in a week. In a year, if all of us are consistently doing it, then that's 14,560 LinkedIn invitations going out a year among five of us. How long would it take for me to get almost 3,000 myself to get to 14,000? That's almost 15,000. I can do simple math. That'd take me 5 years doing it that way. How about when my team gets this way? And it will. And I've intentionally not counted how many people are there. I just consider this one right back here on the very end as me, all these others business partners. I don't know how many that would be, but that law of even larger numbers kicks in. The law of even greater averages. All that kicks in, and now it becomes infinite. It becomes infinite. And so let's look a little further here. Ladies and gentlemen, LinkedIn is your secret weapon because LinkedIn is free and it's duplicatable. Now, yes, you can get the premium account, and I do that. And I did that not because I came here, but because I did it in the previous organization because it gave me more leverage. But we don't tell you that you have to pay me $50 or $150 to get my training, and then you can 10x all these gurus on LinkedIn. We don't tell you that. Um, we tell you you pay your 125 and that's your initial investment, and we're going to teach you duplicatable systems. Now, I'm going to demonstrate it in just a minute, but if you folks will pardon me for just 1 minute, let me step away and take some medicine, and I'll be right back. Just let me step away. Thank you for allowing that, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate it. Now, let me ask here, because it will help me to not have to dwell on one part of it as long. And I can't see anybody on the screen because of my screen. But is there anyone on the call today who is not familiar with how LinkedIn works and making connections? Will you just open your mic and say, yes, it's me? And or if everyone is familiar with making connections on LinkedIn, can you just open your mic and affirm that, please, for me so I can know?
Yes, I am familiar.
Thank you. Thank you. And I believe I'm seeing everybody else. All right. So, you know, well, I don't want to do that. I want to go back. Um, Let me get back over to here. Sorry. So, so you know how to go in on your, let me just um, get out of here and share my LinkedIn. So we all know on here that this is your main feed. Up here you see your network and notifications and all of that. Now I do most of mine on my phone. It's just quicker, it's easier, it's harder, a little harder for me to navigate around here. So let's just make the assumption that you know how to make connections. You know how to send connections. That's one of the probably the easiest ways about it. This is your main, your main feed area. So I've sent out invitations, um, and what I try to do is I go. Now you can find different ways. Eventually, your feed will show you people. You can go in here and you can search. Most of you know that you can search. You can type in life insurance agent, and then it'll pop up and it'll show you another panel there. You can go to locations, click on that, and then you can type in a location that you want to really concentrate on. It'll bring people up, and then you can start looking through. When I'm looking, I'm trying to see people who are in the space, people who are in sales that I can pretty much know that they're used to a commission type thing, and so it helps me. It has helped me to be able to get close to 3,000, I think, connections. And this is one of the reasons why I don't like having to do it right here on this screen, just simply because it just takes it, on this here, it just, for whatever reason, it's just slower. So let me just go back over to here. So there's a couple of ways you can go. You can go up to your network, and then it'll show you and all of that. And I apologize, but I'm not going to be able to do a lot of the demonstration here just because of the laptop. But let me attempt this right here. Go to network. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So this shows that I have 3,072 connections. Now, you'll see things like people who are hiring for your role. Then there's you can find people who these are people who are in, like you see, open to work, things of that nature. And you can look at those. You can see that if they're in the insurance space and everything. I would caution you, if you're doing it from if you're doing it from here, then what I would caution you to do is sometimes on a laptop it doesn't show you if they're in the United States or not. In the beginning, I was doing it from here, and I was connecting with people who were in Canada, and because there are people in Experior and some of these other things that people are doing uh, in Canada, and I was forced to have to tell them, hey, we're not in there. And so what I on my phone, I'm able to see it, but you know how to make connections. I mean, you can connect with people. I can connect in just a matter of just a couple of minutes. Just and depending on how many you do a day, they won't limit you that many, and so you can make those connections. So I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that you've made, you know how to make connections, you know how to send a friend request or a connection request. So then you're going to get notifications. Okay. um, you're going to get notifications. Here's people that followed me, and and things of that nature. You'll get notifications about people who have connected with you. So I'm going to look at my network. Excuse me, here, um, and my connections. All right, these are people. Here's people that I connected with today. Okay, so when you see that they have connected with you, what do I do next, Stephen? What do I do next? Well, I'm going to go right here, and I have these in a Word document that if you will send me an email, if you'd like to have them, send me the email or send me a text with your email, and I will send them. Now, this was the one that I used in the beginning. This is the one that's been working well for me, and I put a star here. So what I send them is this. Hi, now I'll put their name in. Great connecting with you. I have a unique non-captive opportunity in the life insurance space, and one of our niche markets is helping teachers with retirement options. No lead buying, no cold calling. We set up district approved events to simply educate teachers and public school employees on their pensions, arrange virtual 403B and annuity appointments, and assist them with their retirement needs. These appointments also lead to an increased amount of sales in cash value life insurance. Let's chat. I'd love to go over the details. Best, Stephen Taylor. Here's what I do. Now, if those of you who are familiar with an iPhone, and I'm assuming that an Android does the same thing, we have something called text replacement under the keyboard section. So I've got all of these messages in my text replacement area on my phone, and this is just um, LinkedIn Recruiting Pitch 2. I just put LR2 and save it so that when I am on my phone, I don't have to type this whole message or copy and paste. I can just go in, I can go into the comment section, type in LR2, and it pops up. And it will come up saying, hi, great, all this right here, exactly what this says. So I'm going to copy it here and go back to the LinkedIn page. I just click on it and I click paste, and then I want to type in her name, Crystal. Hi, hi, Crystal. Great connecting with you. And I'm not, no, I don't want to screen, I don't want to do a screen trap. How did that happen? There we go. And then I send it. Okay. Then I can go back to Maria Victoria Filiosa, insurance manager at Senior Life Services. That probably is a final expense company. But I'm going to do the very same thing. Paste, type in the name, Maria, and then send. And I can go right down the line. Echo Hovland, licensed independent insurance agent at National Health and Wealth Advisors. Message, paste if you're doing it from a laptop, and then just put in the name, ECHO, and send. Now, I'm not going to continue to send them. I'm not going to continue to send because you can see how easily that is. Honestly, what I do, I send out invitations all throughout the day so that by the time by the time I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I'll see I've got at least 8 or more. And then I can just pick up my phone and in a matter of 2 minutes have 8 of these messages sent out to them, the pitch. So that's my infinite 8 for the day. And honestly, it's in a matter of 2 minutes. You may be quicker and you can do it a lot quicker. So that is how you send out after the invitation, you reply with that recruiting pitch. All right. Then you say, well, Stephen, I've got people that say I'm interested. Then what do you say to them? I went to the wrong place. Don't restart, not now. Let me go here. And then I have one for leaders as well. If you want to find people, I'm happy to send that. These are not original to me. I've tweaked them, but they were shared with me by Mr. Samad and others. Here's my LinkedIn response. no matter what they say. And there are a lot of people who I know are in the space, and I know the company that they're with. So many times I anticipate that they're going to try to cross recruit me. And maybe they will say, uh, that's great to hear. I'm always now they'll say I'm always happy to collaborate. That's a key that I've found out. They're wanting to try to cross recruit me. No matter what they say to you, or if they send you, I'll send you my link. We can connect. Don't fall into the weed. Don't get in the weeds and try to answer their questions. Or if they say, can you tell me about the comp plan? Or can you tell me a little bit more about the opportunity? Don't fall into the trap of getting in the conversation, especially if you're a new agent here and you don't want to try to answer because you are new. You're just learning that. The thing you want to do is follow this system. It's a system for a reason. It doesn't matter what they say to me. I'm going to say the very same thing. Great. You might can say thanks, Nick. I appreciate the response. Thanks, Nick. Then you'll just say, great. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and answer any questions you have. I'm in Tennessee on Eastern Time. So what's a good email, contact number, and time to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? Then I put my email and my phone number. I send it to them. If they reply back with another question, I'm just going to put the same thing. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd love to give you if they ask more than one, I will say something like, LinkedIn is not the proper way. I want to answer your questions, and I'm happy to do your questions. But a quick phone call for an introduction is the best process, and then we can go further down the line, something along that. Just don't get too wordy. And so that's what I send to every one of them. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing. Now, I'm saying I'd like to give you a brief overview. I'd. But you're going to see in the second section that it's not going to be just me. It's not going to be I giving it to them. We're going to leverage the three-way call. But the only purpose in you sending a connection request. Now some people say get to know them first and all that. Don't pitch them directly. Well, if you're seeing people that have that open to work banner, they're looking for something. And so I just stick with this system. The only time I vary from it is if they start asking questions, and I just let them know that I want to answer their questions, and I want to get on a brief phone call with them. And so I ask the same thing again. What's a good email, contact number, and time to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? Just send that to them, regardless. Okay? It's a system for a reason, folks, and it has worked for me. On my wall is my hierarchy. I have 10 of them. And you know as well as I do, you can recruit 100, and 100 of them are not going to be active all the time. But because some of them are active, I now have a second generation who has been recruited, and that second generation is recruiting people, and so it grows. And I've not done anything differently than LinkedIn. Now let me pause right here. You will get people, if you want to broaden that, you can go on agent opportunity Facebook pages and things of that nature, groups, and join them. And you're going to find people looking for opportunities. You don't have to change one thing. You do not have to change one thing. You can send them the same message. And just yesterday, I had someone in California who posted on a page called People Looking for Life Insurance. Now they get it gets it gets overtaken, and it gets sabotaged by transactional agents wanting to get people and doing all this and try to recruit people. That's not the purpose of that page. Don't go on a page that where people are looking for life insurance to try to recruit. That's just not ethical. There's plenty of recruiting pages. But yesterday, after I'd got back in from the schools where I was visiting and booking the fourth event that I'm going to have next week in that school district, 4 out of the 5 days of National Teacher Appreciation Week, I'll be doing sweet treats. But I had sat down to eat a pizza, and I had a phone call, or not a phone call. I saw on just it popped up on my Facebook page on that people looking for insurance was a lady, first name of Ann. She was in California, and she posted something such as, "I'm coming back again, looking for a policy for my dad." And the gentleman that I spoke to did not help me. I wasn't satisfied because he didn't give me details, or didn't get quick. He didn't give me responses that I felt like I needed. And I saw that she had just posted that 2 minutes before I saw it. What do you think I did? What do you think I did? I went on there and I knew what she was wanting, and I said, "I'm sending you, or please send me a DM. I'm happy to help." And I saw it pop up immediately in my Facebook. She wasn't a friend, so it comes up, says someone wants to send you a Facebook message, and it was this lady. And so what I did, in my phone, I just put the LR in, and I changed it, and I said, "Thank you, great, thank you for reaching out. I'll leave my email and contact number here." Now, I didn't say I'd like to give you a brief overview. Um, I would like to answer any questions you have. I'm in Tennessee on it. So what's a good time? She gave me back the time. She gave me her cell number, and then she immediately sent me a text and said, "Let's communicate here." And she told me when I could communicate with her. I've got Hans Augustin, who is going to be on a three-way call with her tomorrow at 6:30 my time, 3:30 her time, and we're going to do discovery with what she wants to do. She's asking about a $500,000 policy. But I didn't go into any of that. I just told her, please send me a DM. Everybody else was pitching, telling how great their companies are and how great they are, and she had sent it to me, and I let her know simply because she had said the person that was with them just tried to get a transaction, and she couldn't really trust them. I first let her know that I've been in the insurance space for over 50 years, and that I am client first before I'm a commission person. I want to help you. You seem like you have a need. And then I just added, "I'll leave my email and contact number here." So it works not only in LinkedIn, but it works on Facebook. Now, I digressed a little, but here's the response that you send them. And so I'm not going to go through how you did. You just do the same thing. Copy paste. Great. I'll leave my email contact number here. Don't get into answering any of their questions, because especially as a new person, you're going to get into the weeds. So I hope that was clear. Let me move on. And I've got 7 minutes and I'll get through it. The three-way call system. What is a three-way call? It's a third-party system that allows any new person to have success on our platform. Now, it's not a third-party system that you have to pay for. It's not a third-party system that you go outside. You have to go outside and find. It's right here in the Supreme Team on this platform, and it's one that I have leveraged. It was one that they leveraged. It's one that I leverage every day. It's one that, even as a training associate, Princess Map in California several weeks ago, while on a training call while I was doing a training call, she sent me a text and said, "Hey, I've got a gentleman that I'm going to try to reach out to that I've been speaking to. Can I leverage you for a three-way call?" And it stunned me, you know. And it was like after this was over, I said, "You mean leverage me as the expert?" And she said, "Of course, work in the system." Now, I was honored and I would happy to do it. She wasn't able to connect with him, but I'm assuming she will one day. And I appreciate that because I know that it works. And I've seen it demonstrated by Mr. Suni Samad to me, by Mr. Hans Augustin to me. I know that it works. Here's the definition. This is a Samad definition. A three-way call is a formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. Here it is. Now, I don't expect you to read that. You don't have to try to take a screenshot of that on your screen because I will email it to you. It was shared with me by Miss Marlena Smith, or from Mr. Suni Samad, because Marlena Smith had shared it in script form with him. She'd put it in script form. I just put it in a way that I could understand it and highlight it in a way that I could understand it. And I'm happy to share it with you if you'll send me an email to that address in the chat, or if you'll send me a text. Here is the LinkedIn three-way call system. I've sent a connection request to Nick Lopez. Nick Lopez, I get a notification that he's accepted my connection request. I'm going to go back to Nick and I'm going to send that LinkedIn pitch. "Hi, Nick. It's great connecting with you. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space. One of our primary niche markets is so, and so. Let's talk. I'd love to go over the details. Let's chat." He sends it back and says, "I'm interested. I'd like to know more." So now I deviate a little from the process here because when my iPhone updated to the OIC 26 or whatever, the 24, whatever it is now, the way that I was used to doing three-way calls, of calling the person first and then adding my leader in, I couldn't find it, and I just stumbled. So now that I've learned it, I am calling Mr. Samad, my leader, first, just to make sure nothing has come up to keep him from being able to get on the call. I've got him on the call, and here and well, first thing I do is check his calendar, and I see that he's going to be able to do it, so I put it on the calendar. And so Nick has said, "I'll be available on Friday." This is Thursday. I'll be available on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Well, I know maybe he's Pacific or I know he's Central, so he'll say I'm available at noon Central. Well, then on Friday that'd be 1 Eastern. So I've already known that it's going to be on the calendar, that I'm going to be able to get to him. So I will send him back. I'll say, "Great. I will put you on the calendar. You'll get an email invitation to accept that, and I'll see you on the call tomorrow." So now it's Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. So now about 12:58, I'm going to call up Mr. Samad. "Hey, Mr. Samad, yeah, everything all go?" "Yes, sir." I said, "All right, I'm gonna add Nick Lopez he's from out in Texas." And so I'm going to go. I'm going to call. Nick answers. "Hey, Nick." Notice Nick, first name. "Hey, Nick, is now still a good time?" "Yes, sir, Mr. Taylor. Yes." "Great, great. Real quick. Now, look, I know this is not grammatically correct. This is Sunni Samad language, and I adopted it. Real quick. I know we spoke a little bit, or we chatted a little bit, or usually you don't speak about it. You're going to text about it back and forth because the first thing you want to do is get them on this three-way call. I know we chatted a little bit in LinkedIn or through text about the opportunity. I want to introduce you to one of my business partners who I've had the privilege of working with for some time now. His name is Mr. Hans Augustin. He's in New Jersey. He's leading the national expansion of this company, and he's doing some phenomenal things on this platform. He's a down-to-earth guy, and most importantly, Nick, He loves helping people. So what I'd like to do really quick is get him on the line so he can share with you what he shared with me when I first took a look at this opportunity. Okay? Hold on. Now I know he's on there, but what I'm going to do is hit mute just so it creates a little bit of silence. And then I'm going to come back on and I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Augustine, are you there? Yes, sir. Hey, awesome. Hey, awesome. Nick, are you still there? Yes, sir. Awesome. Nick, this is Mr. Hans Augustine, the man I was telling you about. We're fortunate to get a moment of his time. That's a key line right there. That's a key line. Now he may have been, this is not the case with him, and it's not the case on a lot of the leaders. He may have been on a break eating lunch or eating some pizza or something like that. But you still want to say we're fortunate to get a moment of his time. Hey, Mr. Augustine, this is Nick from LinkedIn. And then I hit mute and I allow Mr. Augustine to take over. So now I'm playing the role of Mr. Augustine. Hey, Nick. Usually he will just because that's especially with a female, he will say, "Hey, Miss Lopez" or whatever. But he'll say, "Hey, Nick, I'm honored to be on the line with anybody that Mr. Taylor introduces me to. I promise I didn't pay him to say all those nice things about me." But with that said, he's so humble, he probably didn't mention that he's helped develop and expand our company as well. And he's doing some amazing things, helping a lot of people. So I'm honored to be on the line with you. If you use Sunni Samad, you'll hear that word for word. And so he says, with that said, what are you currently doing for a living, Nick? And Nick may say, well, I'm with so and so company, and they want me to buy leads, and I've been buying leads, and I've been running up my credit cards, and or maybe right now he just says, I'm with so and so, I've been with it. Well, great. So you say, awesome. So Nick, I know you're a pretty smart guy, and you're evidently doing well where you are. What's got you to looking into another opportunity? Here's where he discovers the pain point. What's hurting them? And he'll say maybe just didn't have a good support system, or maybe the leads weren't leading as soon he says, they've been spending. I hear it a lot. I've been spending money and I'm not getting support. So then is where he uses the feel, felt, found. I can definitely understand how you feel, Nick. You know what? At one point, I felt the exact same way. I was spending money on leads, and I come to find out that these leads were being sold to other people too, and the only people making any money were the people providing the leads. But I found this company, and they taught me another way to do this business. So with that said, now this was done last year, so it still says 7 years. So with that said, we are our infinite company, the People's Company. We've been around for about 7 years. Now I've got on here, we're one of the only IMOs, and we in the space know that's Insurance Marketing Organization. But if you're dealing with a brand new person, maybe just licensed, who may not know that what an insurance marketing organization is, and I've got the person on wanting to be on the three-way call. I want to hurry. So you can say we're one of the only companies that's doing the things we're doing in several markets. We have niche markets, natural markets, and agency markets. And so, Nick, what I'd like to do is get you over to one of our Zoom presentations. You notice didn't go into detail about those. I'd like to get you over to one of our Zoom presentations. If it's after if it's on the weekend, you want to get them to the OIC one on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. If it is after Monday, you want to push them. We do a Supreme Team call, and I'm privileged to be able to do it many of those weekends on Saturdays at so and so. I'd like to get you to one of those. We have a business overview that's going to be done by one of the business directors, one of the leaders on our platform. He or she does an outstanding job. That way, Nick, you can see for yourself and make a more informed decision as to whether what we do is a good fit for you. Does that sound fair to you? Well, yes, sir. Awesome, Nick. Well, I'm going to leave you with Mr. Taylor. He's going to give you the link. I'll be there as well, so I'll look forward to seeing you on the Zoom. All right? Hey, Mr. Taylor, always a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon. And that's it. And then I will say, Nick, I appreciate it. I'm going to get that link over to you, and I'll see you on the call. and and then I'll be following up with you. And that's it. That's the three-way call system. Now let me give you a final word, and I've got to jump on with this with this Zoom call. If you're going to be a recruiter, you're going to have the responsibility. With recruiting comes great responsibility. You can't just haphazardly do it. Number one, be consistent. It's only the the Infinite Eight system if you're doing it every day. Be consistent in sending out those connection requests. Number two, respond to every one of them. Send that first pitch to every connection. No matter what they say to you, afterwards, send that first pitch to everyone that connects with you. The third thing, reply to every interested person, word for word, that pitch. That response. Fourthly, schedule the three-way call with your leader. Make sure the leader's available. If someone's not available and you can't get anyone's directly around you, I'm happy to. You can reach out to me. I'll play the role of the expert. And I've done it enough times. It worked for me. I know it'll work for you. And so schedule it. And then send the business opportunity link to that person. Now, you're finished, right? Absolutely not. Follow up. 30 minutes before that call is to take place, send a reminder text to them. Okay, you see them on the call. So I'm good, right? Nope. Follow up again immediately after the Zoom. On the business opportunity, it says get back with the person who brought you to the call. When I do it, I say, don't wait for them to get back. Or I'm going to say they're supposed to be getting back with you, but if they don't get back with you in the next 5 to 10 minutes, you get back with them. So when you work the system will work for you. Guys, I want to thank you for attending the webinar today. I appreciate it. I've run about 5 minutes over. And if you want those scripts, send that email to me or send me a text. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you again next week. Have a great rest of your